Thank you for coming to MTG Anonymous, your daily source for random free-to-play decks on MTG Arena. I would appreciate it if you would like, comment, and subscribe whenever you get the chance. Also, feel free to watch any other content that I've produced. I'll see you in the video. Alrighty, welcome to MTG Anonymous. It has been about a week since the last video came out, and I've been kind of busy at work. It's not on purpose, nothing y'all did, it's all my fault. But we will get into a new deck attack. Today we're playing Simic Hydras. Click this. Average CMC is 2.8 with 19 creatures, 2 instants, 4 sorcery, 5 artifacts, 3 enchantment, 3 planeswalkers, and 24 lands. You could bump this up to 25 lands, take one of the Okos out, make it a little more reliable, but having one of our instants helps us out just a little bit. But let's go ahead and get started. First off, we have Spectral Sailor. For 1 blue, you get a 1/1 Spirit Pirate with Flash and Flying, and then for 3 and a blue, draw a card. So the reason this is in here is to draw cards, obviously. We have Fairy Formation for that as well, but having early card draw is probably better, especially since a lot of these cards are above 4 costs. That's really it. The Flash is also good because we can flash it in on our opponent's turn, be able to swing with it the next turn if we need, but that's not super important. Arboreal Grazer. For 1 green, you get a 0/3 Beast with Reach. When it enters the battlefield, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. Again, need more mana, so we're going to use this early, put an additional land, and then we're that much closer to playing one of our bigger creatures. Wishing Well. For 1 blue, you scry 2 when it enters, and then for 3 and a blue, sacrifice it, draw 2 cards. Again, we need card draw. We need to see cards. We need to see a little deeper into our deck, so this is important. Season of Growth. For 1 and a green, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, scry 1. Whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you control, draw a card. So that's not as important in this deck. We really just want to scry whenever one of these beefy boys enters the battlefield. Yeah, that's it, because we don't have anything that specifically targets. Growth Spiral. For a green and a blue, draw a card. You may put a land card from your hand on the battlefield. If we had another one of these, we'd replace Arboreal Grazer with it. Now having a 0/3 body with Reach is obviously really good, seeing as they're the 1/1 flyers. Again, like Spectral Sailor, we can block. But also just puts the land onto the battlefield not tapped, so if we have enough land, we can play something and use that as well. Neoform. For a green and a blue. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice creature. Search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost equal to +1. The sacrifice creature's converted mana cost. Put that card onto the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. Then shuffle your library. So, what we want to do with this one is we want to wait until Gargos is out and then have Risen Reef out. Sacrifice the Risen Reef to the Neoform and grab the Spark Double, so now we have 2 of them. So now what ends up happening is when we go to cast Hydroid Krasis or Voracious Hydra, now instead of having only 4 less, they cost 8 less. And so that means we can have up to 8x. 8 as our X cost. And then that makes the Voracious Hydra even scarier, lets us draw more cards with the Hydroid Krasis without having to spend too much mana. So that's why that's in here. Voracious Hydra. For X, a green and a green, you get a 0/1 Hydra with Trample. Enters with X +1/+1 counters on it. When it enters the battlefield, you can either double the number of counters on it or fight target creature you don't control. So why do I like this? Because we can get rid of creatures our opponents have that are in our way, or we can just make this thing huge. Again, if we have 2 Gargoses out, then we can, with 2 mana, we can make this an 8/9 and then double it, and then it would be a 16/17. So that would be really good for this deck. Hydroid Krasis. For X, a green and a blue. You get a 0/0 Jellyfish Hydra Beast. When you cast a spell, you gain half X life and draw half X cards. Round down each time. Flying Trample. Hydroid Krasis enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. So, you know what we're doing with this. Play this. Hopefully Gargos is out, so we can cast it for a little bit less mana. And then boom, we can make this big. We draw cards, we gain life. Risen Reef. For 1, a green and a blue, you get a 1/1 elemental. When it or another elemental enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land, put it on the battlefield. If it's not, put it into your hand. Well, if you don't put the card in the battlefield. So you can get a land and not put it on the battlefield, because if you get a basic and you haven't made your land drop yet, you can choose to pull it to your hand instead and then drop it onto the battlefield. So that's just a way to get around that. Also, I don't think Breeding Pool would come in. Even if you pay the 2, I think it still enters tapped because the Risen Reef says it enters tapped. So you can also pull that to your hand, play that untapped. Simic Locket for 3, tap, add green or blue, and then for Simic 4 times, tap, sacrifice it, draw 2 cards. So that's in here again for card draw. Witching Well works pretty much exactly the same way. If we had another one of these, we would get rid of one of the Witching Wells, replace it with this, seeing as we get to tap it for mana instead of not getting it. But Witching Well also comes in extremely early, so we can scry and as it enters. So they both have, they both are really good, but this is just a little bit better. Oko, Thief of Crowns for 1 a green and a blue. The hated Planeswalker. I don't think I should really go over it. It's just in here to block off. Also, we can make that Witching Well into a 3/3 elk if nothing's going on, which is actually really good. But and then for the -5, you really don't get to use that very often. You're really just going to use the +2 or the +1 because we don't really want any of our opponent's creatures. And yes, we could give them a food token, but why? It doesn't really matter. Spark Double for 3 and a blue. You may have it enter the battlefield as a copy of a creature you control, except it enters with an additional +1/+1 counter if it's a creature. When it enters this way, and it's a Planeswalker, and it isn't legendary if that permanent is legendary. So, if it enters as a copy as Gargos, it's not legendary, and then it gets a +1/+1 counter. And if it enters as Oko, then it gets an additional loyalty counter. So we could use that, play it, make a copy of Oko, and then use the -5 immediately. But it's pretty rare we're going to do that because we just lose it, and then that's 4 mana for a switch. No. Zagana, Utopian Speaker for 2 a green and a blue. When it enters the battlefield, if you control another creature with a +1/+1 counter on it, draw a card. And then 4 a green and a blue, adapt 4. Each creature you control with +1/+1 counter on it has trample. So the reason this is good, if I grab a creature with Neoform or copy it with Spark Double, then it gets a +1/+1 counter on it. So what happens is I get Gargos, I make the copy of Gargos, and now when she enters, now Gargos has Trample and Vigilance as the Spark Double, so that's why I like that. It's really good. Thunderous Snapper for hybrid Simic 4 times. You get a 4/4 Turtle Hydra. When you cast a spell with converted mana cost 5 or greater, draw a card. There are 5 of those in here, so we have the chance to draw 5 cards, which is actually really good, considering Gargos enters, draw a card, so it gets a little more value. Fairy Formation for 4 and a blue. You get a flying fairy for 3 and a blue, create a 1/1 blue fairy creature token with flying and draw a card. So actually what we're going to do is when we use this ability, draw the card, make the 1/1 fairy, then we're going to use Oko's +1, make them into 3/3 elks instead. So I think 3/3 is better than a 1/1 flyer. Like, yeah, you can dodge some stuff, but an army of 3/3s without flying, I think is better than an army of 1/1s with flying. I kinda feel that way, but again, draw, and it's the exact same cost as the Spectral Sailor. So once it's come out, then we don't need to use the Spectral Sailor anymore. Voracious Hydra, 3 a green and a blue. Enters battlefield with +1/+1 counter on it for each loyalty counter on planeswalkers you control. When 1 or more loyalty counters are put on a planeswalker you control, put that many +1/+1 counters on Voracious Hydra. So Oko gets a +2. So every turn it'll get a +2 on it. And then if we get the Spark Double, make it the copy of Oko, now it would get +4, or we could make a token and then make it into a 3/3. So that's just how I planned that out. There's only one of, but we can use the Neoform to get rid of one of the Thunderous Snappers to grab it. So that's why there are 2 of those in here, actually. But yeah, that's how that's supposed to go. And then also, don't forget that Thunderous Snapper can also trigger off Voracious Hydra and Hydroid Krasis, depending on how much mana you put on them. So I forgot to mention that too. So that would make 8 cards it could trigger off of instead of 5. So And then Gargos, Vicious Watcher for 3, a green, and a green. Hydra spells you cast cost 4 less to cast. Oh, it's an 8/7 Hydra, by the way. It has Vigilance. Whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a spell, Gargos Vicious Watcher fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. So, again, we don't have anything that targets, but the reason this is in here is for the cheaper Hydras. So, what'll end up happening, boom, Hydras are cheaper. Use this, Hydroid Krasis. So now you get to draw an additional 2 cards, gain an additional 2 life, since that's how that would roughly translate. Or you get an additional 4 counters for this one, and then you can fight something a little bigger. If I were to change this deck around, I would probably drop one of the Gargos, grab a Nissa, seeing as that would lower our overall mana cost. There's really nothing else I could think of, honestly, but there's no telling. For lands, we have 9 islands, 10 forest, 1 breeding pool, 3 Simic Guildgate, and 1 Temple of Mystery. So I think, since this is only a 10-minute video, or we're at 11 minutes so far, we'll play a game so that way we can see how that plays. I've played it maybe about 10 times, but it's nice to, you know, show how it works. Let me turn this down a lot. There you go. So we got 4. We got Season of Growth. Perfect. Like, yeah, they go first, but we got a chance to get... This is actually pretty strong. So we have a chance to maybe get a whole bunch of lands early, get Bioessence Hydra out early and start swinging. It just depends. Play the Forest instead. Season of Growth. And the reason Season of Growth is good is because once Risen Reef drops, then we can scry first, and then we use its ability. So I'll play the other Season of Growth. Since they're not doing anything, there's no reason for me to rush. But then I can go looking for a land, since I need 2 more. Well, yeah, I need 2 more for Gargos to be, like, extremely good. Scary. I wonder... Yeah, I'll do it. Like, nope, we just don't even want to deal with that. So, that'll also draw the attack on Oko for 2 turns, so that's the reason why I did that there instead of playing the Risen Reef. Everyone hates Oko, and so they will immediately start swinging out at him, and then I can make the +2, and so it'll last for 2 turns, or not. Yikes. Yeah, yikes. No, that's fine. Maybe it's not fine. Okay. So what I could do is I could play... No, I can't, actually. Let's play the Risen Reef. Oh, so... Well, that sucks. So I decline, so I can draw it. I'll leave that on... Actually, on bottom. I'll leave that on bottom. I'll play land. I swore you could choose that, but I guess not. Huh. Well, I've been wrong before. It doesn't really matter. So, Gargos is going to enter. Probably turn after next. I can use 3 of this land to make another blue and then have 2 Risen. The ability to play 2 Risen Reefs. Ooh. Their deck's scary. No blocks. Play the Guild Gate. That way I know I have the right mana. Play the Simic Locket. Play the Risen Reef. Now we get 2 of those triggers. I played a land, so take action. Okay. We could draw cards. No, because Gargos is going to come out next turn. And a forest. Okay, sweet. No attacks. So, their board is scary, but Hydroid Krasis comes out, and then we start doing stuff. So, Gargos comes out, and then Hydroid Krasis will come out. If they target any of our stuff with their spells, then that also helps us out a little bit. So we have 6 for this. So 6, and then 2 more. So we'd be able to 4. Yikes. I'll block the 3. I'll just block the 3/3. Not take as much damage. Okay, so Gargos first. Risen Reef can stay on top. And then 4, 5. Auto pay. Yep. See, this is how this deck is supposed to work. So next turn we'll be able to play the other Hydroid Krasis. If we live, of course. We'll block the Herald of the Sun, block the Seraph. So they won't be able to do as much damage. Oh! Well, doesn't that stink? That stinks. Well, I can still gain a bit of life, so it's fine. Though they'd have to swing all of it, and then I can block enough to stay alive, play the Hydroid Krasis. Oh, okay, they didn't do it. It sucks that they get rid of that, but whatever. Let's see. 1, 5. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I messed that up. Resolve. We'll put that on the bottom. We need to draw something better. Resolve. Voracious Hydras in our hand, so we draw another card. That's good. Play the island. Next. No attacks. We want to be able to block on our turn, kill some stuff. So, like, yeah, they've got some more life than us, but and we got another Hydroid Krasis in our deck. That's annoying. Goodness. Done. Goodness, I hate them. Hate is a strong word, but they are annoying. Like, they don't do anything. So let's make this big, fight this cruel celebrant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 5, and then Risen Reef. 5. Auto tap. Fight creature we don't control. Get rid of the cruel celebrant. Nope. Oh, yeah, I'll keep that. I didn't play land this turn, so play the Risen Reef. Decline. Take action. Fairy formation. See, there we go. We're slowly stalling this game out to where we'll be able to do what we want. So next, we will wait. So we have enough lands where we can play the Thunderous Snapper and Fairy formation in the same turn. Okay. They gotta start doing something. So, Thunderous Snapper. Yep. Yep, we'll keep that. Next, we'll grab Fairy Formation. We'll keep that on top for our next turn. We can start drawing cards with the Fairy Formation, so. Next. And just sacrifice. Nope. In turn. We can let that start swinging in if they want to, and we can block the stuff with flying. It just depends on how well they do. Oh, no. They're not actually doing anything, which kind of, like, is annoying. So we have another one with +1/+1 counter on it, so we'll get to draw a card. If it's a land, we can skip it since we've already made the drop. Oko. Yep, that's what we need. Make that into just a regular nothing. This is fun. Draw a card. Play the Simic Locket first. Play the Oko. And now we have fodder for the Bioessence Hydra. Make the Vindictive Vampire into a... This is hilarious, dude. So next... No attacks. And then on our turn, we can... On their turn, we can draw, make a 1/1 fairy, and then block whatever they attack with. And we get to draw a card, so... That helps us out just a little bit. We can block whatever they decide to swing with, too. Yep, that doesn't matter. It doesn't have trample, so... I don't care. Pass. Nope, okay, well. Draw a card, make a fairy. Oh man, this is going to be fun. I don't have anything I want to Neoform now because I got that Spark Double, so. I don't have anything I want to Neoform. This is hilarious. So they didn't kill us fast enough, so now we're just going to do stuff. So Spark Double. Make another Oko. The Bioessence Hydra. This deck is showing off what it wants to do. So I misplayed that because I could have made those. I don't need any more lands. I need to draw some fire. I'll leave these lands untapped so I can draw something else with Fairy Formation. What do I want to take? I can take that, and that's it. But I'll make a food first. It's just going to get bigger and bigger. It's hilarious. And then the -1, make that into just a regular creature. We'll get rid of all their flyers, and then we can start swinging with ours. So it just makes it hilarious. I could have done it that way too, and then swung in with the 5/5 and the 4/4, but I'll still swing in with the 5/5 just to be meanie. But they got a lot of life, so next. We'll make Bioessence Hydra as big as we can, and then it'll swing too, because, you know, it'll do its thing. I have enough mana that I can still play Season Growth without affecting anything, since I only need 4 mana to draw a card. So, I'll go ahead and do that. End turn. The way this is going, they can't actually beat us now, so... even with the Cruel Celebrant, we would still block. They don't have enough to kill us. Okay, yeah, whatever. Resolve. Sack the Fairy. Resolve. Resolve. Oh, they can kill us with the Pentagraph. Oh, they don't have enough mana. Okay, sweet. Yeah, this is hilarious. I just transform the Cruel Celebrant so it doesn't actually do... Oh, I messed that up. Okay, -1. Cruel Celebrant. Or +1, excuse me. +1. Grasping Thrall. This is just hilarious. So now I can draw 2 cards, but I'll just draw 1 for now. See what we get on top first. Growth Spiral, we'll keep those, both. Draw a card. This is hilarious. So we're going to keep these on top. Keep it on top. It'd be better if I probably rolled through. But this is just hilarious. I did not expect this deck to be doing this. So get this going. Drop the land. So now we can activate it 2 times. Next. And then they only have 1/1. So swing with the 5. It's hilarious. I could probably kill all their stuff with the Bioessence Hydra next turn. 3, 6, 9, 12, 16, 18, 21, 2. Yeah, I could kill all their stuff. So we'd probably just Alpha Strike good. And they got nothing. Okay, well, resolve. Draw 1 card. Let's see. I got... This is just so fun. We'll just roll through. Get Gargos. Nope. I got some 2-drops in here that I could probably grab using the Neo form and sacrifice the... Well, actually, 1 drop would be what I would get. Yep, and they scooped. Well, this video is going on pretty long. This is low tiers, so like fun stuff like this works, but it's still hilarious. So that's it for this video. If you enjoyed, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. That would be amazing. I'll see you in the next video. Later.